Now, the Iowa caucuses are fast approaching, and the race for who will take on the anointed one in 2012 is still anyone's game. Now, just look at former Speaker Newt Gingrich's rise in just the past few weeks. Now, it wasn't that long ago that the mainstream Obama mania media was saying that he'd soon have to pack up his campaign and head on home. But now, according to a brand new Fox News poll that came out today, Gingrich is now in the lead with 23% of the vote. Mitt Romney is close behind with 22. Herman Cain is a distant third with 15. And still with me to talk about the ever-changing GOP field, Fox News contributor, former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin. By the way, when did you watch this, any regrets ever thinking, maybe I should have jumped in?
No, I think that I can help shake it up from the outside, and that's exactly what Peter Schweitzer and I and others in my pack are committed to doing as we shed light on the darkness on what's going on in our government. I can do that from the outside.
All right, so we have the Fox News poll, which has Gingrich now. He's now surged up. Herman Cain's come down quite a bit after 2 weeks of nonstop controversy. Then we've got the poll out of Iowa, which obviously the caucus, January 3rd, Gingrich 32, Romney 19, and Herman Cain 13. And whoever wins Iowa or exceeds expectations, obviously is going to have some momentum coming out of there. What do you make of Gingrich's rise, and what advice would you give him for what I think we both agree are the coming attacks against him?
Gingrich's rise doesn't surprise me. He's done so well in the debates, and I think people are recognizing and respecting his experience in Congress, understanding that he helped balance budgets way back when under Clinton, and we certainly need that today. But this is a horse race, and it's going to come down to Romney versus the non-Romney. And right now we're seeing people kind of switching up position and taking turns being that non-Romney. So still much in flux, much that is fluid, and my advice to Newt and to these other candidates is read Peter Schweitzer's book and start understanding how important it is, as we are at this tipping point, to start doing something about the culture of corruption in our government, because we cannot afford it anymore. And hopefully they'll start talking about that in their debates, in their ads, in their campaigns.
How do you interpret it? Because a lot of people have characterized it the same way, Romney, non-Romney. Romney is the one guy, well, probably Ron Paul, but more in the middle of the pack. But Romney has stayed consistent pretty much throughout this race at the top. Other people have challenged him and fallen back. Newt is certainly the latest. How do you interpret Romney versus non-Romney? What does that mean to you?
Well, Romney, with about his 22% of the supporters who will show up to vote in those GOP primary processes, he's been steady. He has had that experience as a candidate now for 4 or 5 or 6 years, essentially running for president. So
don't you think he's done well in the debates? Do you think? Because I think he's done well in the
He has done well in the debates, and he has even been able to explain somewhat some of his, what is, in layman's terms, flip-flops, how he chose to take one position as the governor years ago and now has kind of shifted gears and flip-flopped on some of these positions. He's been able to explain some of those. So in those terms, he has done well in the debates. But, people, I don't think that voters have made up their minds yet. They want to know that we have a real go-getter, somebody who really will understand what it's going to take to defeat Barack Obama and his $1 billion in a campaign war chest.
That's going to be vicious.
His 90% of the mainstream media who will be on his side. So many things that he will have as perceived advantage. How important it is that our GOP nominee is geared up, ready to go to take this on, because he's a formidable foe.
I think the process is healthy in terms of I'd rather we settle all these issues, whatever they are, about every candidate, so they're stronger and we don't have to spend a lot of time, they don't have to spend a lot of time defending themselves. Is there anyone that you see you're leaning towards endorsing? Could you support Romney, or, to use your words, non-Romney, or somebody else? Do you have a preference, or could you support any of the candidates?
I don't have a preference yet, but Sean, it is very important, yes, this process of vetting. We learned our lesson when Barack Obama was not vetted, and now we have a president with basically an invisible past. We don't understand what his foundation is and why he leads us in the direction towards bankruptcy that he is leading us based on being not vetted and not a known commodity when he was elected. So we learned our lesson there. Very important, this vetting process. However, we cannot allow ourselves to be distracted with what the media and Obama's cronies in the media want us to be distracted by. Semantics and gaffes based on, say, Kane taking too long, pausing too long before he answers a question or whatever. All those little things that are part of maybe the idiosyncrasies of somebody's character as they're running for office, those are distractions. We need to concentrate on what's really important.
No, listen, if anyone can get away in 3 times in one speech saying Navy corpsman, I think anything's forgivable. Because
Navy
the president said it 3 times in a speech.
I know, and these are his own military personnel. He is commander-in-chief, and then, of course, during the campaign, saying that he had visited the 57 states, and the rest of us were thinking, wait a minute. That's
and those of you I see on this Memorial Day, I know. All right, well, Governor.
There's a list of them.
All right, Governor, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.